I spent over $2 million on paid ads in Meta, both for myself and for my clients. And from all that ad spend, we've driven over $52 million in revenue. And today, I'm going to be condensing everything I learned about driving conversions with Meta ads over the last several years into one easy to understand course. Now, I'm making this video because I know that running Meta and Facebook ads can be super daunting, especially for the reasons that A, it's very easy to build tens of thousands of dollars with no results. B, there's so much strategy involved that takes years of experience to learn. And C, sometimes it just feels like you're throwing money into Big Papa Zuck's foundation, again, with no results. I want to stress this is not going to be some fluff course where I'm giving you hypothetical concepts or rookie Meta ads walkthrough. Instead, this is going to be one of the most comprehensive video guides on generating conversions through Meta ads that you'll ever watch, and it'll make everything crystal clear from A, how to set up and read your KPIs, how to set up campaign and your structure, how to do retargeting strategies, showing you my past winning ads, showing you how to create a winning ad in 6 minutes by using AI, a pixel setup, landing page templates, and so much more. And trust me, if you can watch till the end of this course, you'll be completely crystal clear on how to properly run Meta ads and drive more sales in your business. But before we get into things, I do have some bad news. If you can't sit through this video for more than 5 minutes without being tempted to go back to TikTok and watch booties shake on that feed, I hate to say it, but you're gonna lose a lot of market share to someone who will watch this and implement exactly what we're teaching here. This video is going to start assuming you already have an ad account and you're looking to make it perform even better. All right, so since this video is already long enough, I'm trying to maximize value per second. Number one, I'm locked and loaded. And number two, we're not going to walk you through how to create an actual account because there's a lot of already rookie-friendly videos on YouTube showing you how to create an ad account. This video is going to start assuming you already have an ad account and you're looking to make it perform even better. So the first thing I want to walk you guys through is how to actually read data inside of the Ads Manager. In order to do that, you're going to have to come in and actually edit your columns right out the gate. So to do that, again, you're going to click columns and then you're going to come down here and you're going to hit customize columns. Now, I'm not going to walk you through them all individually here because I'm actually going to show you the data in a live case study. But again, feel free to stop the video right here, take a second, and go into your ad account and make it look identical to mine. So now that we have the columns properly set up, the first column that we have is our URL parameters, where we're just checking to make sure that we properly have this ad tag so we can track the conversions. Again, we're going to chat more about that in another chapter. Then moving on, again, we have just simple stuff, campaign name, ad set name, budget, etc. Now, the first thing that I really want to check out is the CPM, and the CPM stands for the average cost per 1,000 impressions, meaning this is how much you are spending Meta for them to show your ad to 1,000 people. Now, obviously, the higher your CPMs are, the less you're going to actually be able to scale your ad because it costs you more money to get in front of people. But it's also important to note that high CPMs is now kind of the norm when it comes to Meta ads. There's so much competition and so many people on Meta ads running ads at the same time, especially under conversion campaigns. You're going to spend a lot more on a conversion campaign CPM compared to something like engagement. But again, we're going to get into that in another chapter. I don't want to get ahead here. So after the CPM, we then have impressions, which means how many times has the ad been viewed in total. We then have the reach, which is how many unique accounts have seen your ad. And then we can tie that in together with frequency, which means how many times on average has each account seen your ad. Now, very important to note that ad fatigue, meaning your ad starts becoming repetitive, people have seen it too much and it's not going to perform as much, can really start to creep in at around 2. So once you hit a 2.0 frequency, make sure that you're checking your ad results to see if they're declining and get ready to start rolling out new ads. But again, we'll get more into that in another chapter. I just want to talk about KPIs here. And then the next call that we're going to take a peek at is the hook rate. And the hook rate is actually a custom metric that we set up inside of Meta Ads Business Manager. In order to do that, you're going to click columns. You're then going to go to customize columns. You're going to hit this custom button right here, and you're going to hit create custom metric. Now we're going to name this one hook rate, and we're going to format it as a percentage. And the description is going to be percentage of people who saw the ad and watched at least 3 seconds, which is typically referred to as the hook. Now, in order to do this, what we're going to do is we're going to do 3-second video plays divided by impressions. And to give you the math, again, we're going to see, let's say 1,000 people saw this ad, and out of 1,000, let's say 200 of them watched the video for at least 3 seconds. This will give us a 20% hook rate. And then again, we're going to hit create metric. Now, the next KPI that we're going to be tracking is the hold rate. And again, this is also a custom metric. So again, you can do the exact same thing, but here I will show you how to actually set it up. So again, this is the hold rate. We're going to format as a percentage, and it's the percentage of people who watched at least 3 seconds that made it to 15 seconds or more. And that's what through plays is. Through plays is basically someone who's watched at least 15 seconds of the video or more. So what this metric does is it now shows us that 17% of people that actually saw the first 3 seconds ended up consuming at least 15 seconds or more of the ad. So we can start to gauge how much of people's attention are we holding, which basically gives us insights into how good our video ads are performing. Now, important to note, this does not apply for images. This is really for videos. We're going to get into some very advanced tips and tricks when creating the ads in another chapter so that you can actually measure this on image videos as well. But again, we're going to get into that in another chapter. Now, after hold rate, we're going to be checking out the unique link clicks, which is basically telling us the number of accounts that have performed a link click. So they actually click on the link to go on the ad. We're then going to measure the cost per unique link click, which in this ad, it costs us $2.83 per unique link click. And then the last thing that we want to do is track the unique link click-through rate. Now, there's also a click-through rate, not a unique link click-through rate. I like to use unique just in case we have one moron who's going to spam our ad. They saw it a bunch of times. They click the link. It can inflate the unique CTR. Again, not drastically, but my personal preference is I like to use unique CTR because it gives us a true representation of how many unique accounts saw the ad and clicked on it. By the way, 1% is considered like average. Anything over 1% is great. This is almost at a 6% unique CTR. So clearly it's resonating with our core audience and it's doing a really good job. From there, we have opt-in rate, which is going to be leads divided by unique link clicks, although we're not using instant forms for this ad specifically. So obviously you can see it just says we generated 1 lead, which is absolute bogus. And that's an issue you're going to have when you're running Meta ads is you're going to realize that the ad tracking platforms are not that great inside of the Meta Ads Manager. So I'm just going to kind of go over this one for now. And honestly, the rest of these in this use case don't really make sense because again, it's not tracking leads properly. It's saying it costs us $1,000 per lead, but then it said we have 43 scheduled appointments at $22 a pop. So in order to fix this and to better track your actual ad conversions, you're going to want to check out a platform like this here that natively syncs in with your paid ads. It syncs with your conversion sources, and it starts to paint a true picture, giving you full funnel analytics, things like lead, cost per lead, appointments, cost per appointment, how many of them actually stuck on. So we can see in this one, we had about 25% of all appointments cancel. So that jumps us from $30.90 per appointment to $41.59 per confirmed appointment. The show up rates are fantastic, 96% show up rate, which brings us to a cost per showed appointment at $43. And we can also track qualified appointments through this platform. And as you see, this ad crushed it. 100% of all people that showed were qualified enough to be made an offer, which gave us a cost per qualified appointment of $43.26. This ad also produced 11 new paying clients with a cost to acquire a customer of $98.31. And then you can also track again revenue generated, ROAS, and closing ratio natively inside of Ad Kong. Now we'll get more into ad attribution and how to analyze, optimize your ads for best performance in another chapter. I just wanted to tease this now because we are talking about KPIs that again, as you see, it says we got 1 lead and 43 appointments, when in actuality, we did not get 42 appointments. We only got 35. And even the cost per appointment, again, we're going to chat about this in another chapter. I don't really give a shit about cost per appointment. My real thing I'm looking for is cost per qualified appointment, which Meta gives you no ability to track that and show it inside of their ads manager. So with us running through the KPIs, just want to give out a quick few pro tips here. Number one, like I said before, try to measure unique link click-through rates and unique link clicks because it's going to give you a true representation of how many accounts saw your ad and how many actions were performed. And again, another pro tip is if you see that your unique CTR is below 1%, this is really going to be a point where you want to pay attention to your ads because a few things are happening. Number one, your creative sucks. Number two, your offer could be absolute garbage and no one cares enough to actually click on it. Or number three, everything is good, your creative is good, your offer is good, but you're not targeting the right audience. So if you do have a unique CTR below 1%, those are the 3 things that I would take a peek at. Number one, how good is our creative? Number two, how good is our offer? And number three, how good is our audience? Now, again, we're going to get into this into another chapter. This is typically why you run multiple ad creative tests at once so you can measure to see like if all of our ads are below 1.0 unique CTR, either your ads really, really suck, but chances are not, and the second would be the offer or the audience. Now, another pro tip is to identify your cost per unique link click. I like to see this anywhere between 2. Honestly, even if I've had it under 2 before, over time, if you're on the same ad for long enough, it's going to start creeping up above 2, but between $2 to $4 cost per unique link click. And the reason is every time someone clicks on our ad to go on our website, we have something called the meta pixel, which we'll get into in another chapter, completely dedicated towards tracking and pixels. But the concept is every time someone clicks off of our ad onto our landing page, we're able to pixel them, which allows us to retarget them very strategically. So we call these invisible leads. We don't have their name and email, but we can control how much of our content they're going to see on Meta. So as you see here, we got 371 invisible leads at $2.83 a pop, which I'm taking that all day long. Again, another pro tip here is make sure that you start paying attention to the frequency. I've already mentioned this before, but I do want to stress ad fatigue is very real. At around 2.0, you're going to start to notice ad results start to go down. Now, I've also run ads with frequency going up to 7, have had great cost per acquisition. So again, it's not a standardized rule. Just keep in mind, if you see frequency start hitting above 2, start to pay attention to this ad. It could be very well on its last legs. Another pro tip as well is do not optimize for cost per lead. We're going to get into this in another chapter, but the truth is it's really easy to generate cheap leads, right? Like I could sell my Escalade for $20 on Meta ads and I will have the world's cheapest leads, but they're not qualified. They're a bunch of cheap brokies that want something for the dirt cheap, lowest cost possible. So don't optimize for cost per lead. Again, we're going to get into that in another chapter specifically, but I do want to mention it here as well. And then the last pro tip is make sure that your ROAS is at least 2.5x or higher on month 1. Again, we're going to get into it in another chapter, but using a software like AdCong allows you to track your ROAS natively. And the reason we're aiming for 2.5x is simple. If we have a 1x ROAS in the first 30 days, that means that we have basically covered our cost to acquire that customer. If we're at a 2x ROAS, that means we've covered our cost to acquire a customer and we can now buy another customer. And then at 2.5x ROAS, that also gives us a little bit more cash flow inside of the business to pay our employees, to pay our team, or to operate as necessary. Now, this is not like a standardized rule because I know so many businesses have different margins and there's a lot of different things in each business type, but it's just a general rule that I like to look at when running ads. All right, so with the KPIs out of the way, now we're going to start jumping into the actual campaign structure. And we're going to start with the campaign objectives. Now, every time you create a new campaign, it's going to ask you what type of campaign objective you want. You can run a sales campaign objective. And honestly, this is great for e-com, or if you're actually training Meta ads on offline purchase conversions, which again, we'll get to in another video. You can run a sales campaign and optimize for conversions because the Meta pixel knows exactly who purchases for you because you've trained it and you've sent that data back to it. If you don't have that set up, you're probably going to want to go for leads. You have app promotion, which honestly I never use. It's really like if you're running ads for an app. You have the leads, which in my opinion is probably where 99% of people who run sales call funnels, lead gen funnels are going to be spending their money. And as you see, when it comes to generating the leads, you can generate the leads on instant forms, Messenger, Instagram, WhatsApp, conversions. So you can send people to an actual landing page to book a call, or you can have people call you natively by hitting a call button on the ad, and then it's going to call your phone number. The next one is engagement. And honestly, these are so underutilized. These are like one of my most favorite types of campaigns to run. And these are fantastic for what's called top of funnel ads. The concept with the top of funnel ad is you're trying to reach people who don't know you. Maybe they're not problem solution aware. So like you have a service or something that can help them solve a problem, and maybe they don't even know it exists, or maybe they don't even know if it's a problem. And they're also really great for brand awareness campaigns, which again, we're going to get to in another chapter. And one of my favorite things to run on an engagement style ad is when you're giving free value in a video, and then you say, DM the word strategy down below to get my PDF. And then people go ahead, they comment the word down below, and then you send them a DM with the actual resource. And again, these work really well because there's no learn more button on the actual ad. It feels like a native video that someone will just watch through their feed swiping up. And it's also pushing people to engage with your ads. And Meta's going to find people that like to engage and comment on ads, which again, increases brand awareness. You can actually do lead gen through it. And there's a whole lot of other strategy that we're going to get to in another chapter. I just wanted to kind of tease how much and why I like the engagement campaign. The next one is the traffic campaign objective. Honestly, we don't really use this too much. This is good if you want people to visit a webpage like a blog, or if you want them to go watch and see your Instagram profile. But again, we don't really use this too much. If I'm going to drive traffic to a website, it's going to be specifically under leads because I want a specific conversion or sales. But the odd times that we do use this, honestly, it is for that Instagram profile visits. We're trying to push people to view an Instagram page and again, just build more brand awareness. And then last but not least, we have awareness style campaigns. And again, these are super slept on as well. This is another personal favorite of mine to run. We'll get into my overall ad strategy in a few chapters from now, but I want to tease this one specifically because these are so damn good when you want to force people to see your content and to see your ads on the Meta platform. For example, again, we're going to get into this in another chapter. We set up 24 unique ads inside of this campaign. We control it. We only let people see one ad per week. And we also set it so that it pushes the ad as soon as possible once they engage with our brand. So they click on a website, they watch a video. Once that happens, the next time they open up their feed, bam, we're right there, forced in front of their eyes. And we're going to give them 24 unique ads, again, to further drive brand awareness, to further drive trust, to nurture these leads, to give them value, and to make sure that they perceive us as the authority. Now, for this example, to continue on, let's just go ahead, let's hit leads, let's hit continue. And we are not going to be using the recommended settings. At that, we're going to be hitting manual leads campaign and then clicking continue. Now, once you hit continue, it's then going to ask you a few different things. Number one is your categories. I know a lot of people trip out about this. So if you are selling like financial products and services, such as credit cards, long-term financing, investment services, insurance services, or anything else, you will need to click on this. If not, they're going to restrict your ad. They're not going to approve it. The same concept for employment style ads, housing style ads, or, social issues, elections, or politics. And I do want to give a story because I actually have a client that we run ads for. They are a high ticket outdoor living space construction company, meaning they go into someone's backyard, they build them a pool, they'll build them a bunch of luxurious stuff. And on their ads specifically, they want to run it as a monthly payment. Now, because we're selling an outdoor living space on a monthly payment, that technically is long-term financing. So we did go ahead and check this off. And lo and behold, we were getting $6, $7, $8 leads right out the gate. And on average, we're sitting anywhere between $15 to $20 a lead for a financial product specifically. So don't trip out if you actually have to declare it as a category. Just go ahead, declare it. You can still get great performance. You will be a bit limited in terms of being able to target certain regions by zip code or by doing certain financial targeting. Like, you will lose a bit of the targeting on meta ads, but honestly, meta ads AI is so damn good that it doesn't really matter anyways. Now from there, don't mess with the buying type, just leave it as an option. And again, we've already set up the campaign objective to be leads. We never really use the A/B test, honestly, here. If we're going to set up an A/B test, we're just going to do it manually. We're not going to leverage the Meta platform to do that. Now, for those of you who don't know, Meta has a lot of AI inside of their ad platform, and they brand it through this Advantage Plus or Advantage style ads. The Advantage campaign budget will distribute your budget across currently delivering ad sets to get more results depending on your performance goals and bid strategies. Basically, you set the budget at the campaign level, and if you have 15 ads, not all 15 ads are going to get the same amount of ad spend. Meta's going to spend more on one ad set, another one, based on what they see is going to drive the most number of conversions. Now, you'll probably ask yourself, should I use a campaign budget? Should I use an ad set budget? And we're going to get into that more specifically in my strategy in another chapter, but I want to tease a little bit of what I like to do here. So us personally, we love to have a creative testing campaign, and this is an ad set budget optimization where we're going to say you have to spend, $50 on this ad set and you have to spend $50 on that ad set. And then from there, once we identify, okay, maybe this ad set sucks and maybe this one crushes it, we're going to take this ad set and we are going to duplicate it inside of our scaling campaign. And our scaling campaign has campaign budget optimization turned on. So I don't care if it spends $50 here and $10 here. I've already validated the ad and I know that it drives conversions. So I'm duplicating it in here at scale. Again, we're going to get into my entire campaign strategy, how I like to run ads, and how all this pieces together in another chapter. I just wanted to tease a little bit right now, since we are talking about the Advantage campaign budget. Now, I also want to talk about a budget real quick, because that's a question we get all the time, is like, how much should I spend on my ads? And honestly, it's as much as you can humanly afford. On the low end though, like, I wouldn't want to spend anything under $2,000 a month on ads. Like, I think you're not really going to see that crazy of a needle being moved under $2,000. But again, the budget is super anecdotal. It really depends business by business, case by case, where if we look at this ad here and we show that it costs $98 to acquire a new customer. And let's say I wanted to acquire 100 new customers a month. What I would basically do is I'd do 100 times $98 $28, and I would say, cool, I'm going to be roughly spending around 10 grand a month if I want to acquire 100 new customers every single month. Now, if you don't have those styles of benchmarks, so again, the budget is fairly tricky. What I would recommend is if you're just starting out, do like 2 to 3 grand, track your data so that you can stabilize and baseline, understand exactly how much it costs you per qualified appointment to acquire a customer, what your closing ratio is, etc. And then from there, I would reverse engineer what are my goals and then see how much do I have to spend in order to actually hit my goals. All right, so now that we have the campaign out of the way, now we're going to be building something called the ad set. And the ad set essentially allows you to A, choose where the conversion location is going to happen. B, it allows you to dial in the budget if you are going to be spending money at the ad set level. C, it gives you the ability to control who sees your ad, what country, what type of people. And lastly, it allows you to choose where do you want your ads to be actually shown. Now, when it comes to conversion location, me specifically, I love to run it to a website because we're going to increase the quality of these leads when we make them go to a website and type everything manually. If you are more rookie or beginner, you can use instant forms or messenger. You're going to get a lot more volume. Or if you have a massive team that's just hungry and craving for volume, again, use instant forms or messenger. But we're really at the point where we just like to have quality and we cherry pick the right people that are actually going to be a good fit and motivated to fill out an application on a website. So again, we're going to choose the website as the conversion location here. We then have the performance goal. We're going to maximize the number of conversions. We're going to choose the pixel/data set, which we're going to get to in another chapter completely. And then we're going to choose the conversion event, which for us right now is going to be schedule. You can see that you can't run a purchase event. It has to only happen under the sales objective. So under the actual campaign, you have to go and change that to sales in order to be able to optimize for purchase events. So in this sample, we're going to be running it to a schedule event. Now, as you see, we also have Conversions API enabled. We have a complete chapter on that specifically. But what AdCong does is it not only tracks your ads and all of your conversions, it then packages it up and sends it back to the ad platform to train the AI algorithm's brain, which essentially allows you to find customers cheaper and get more conversions for less ad spend. But again, we're going to chat about that specifically in another chapter. For now, I'm just going to hit schedule, and then we don't really play with the cost per goal option. We just leave that as is. Here you can toggle on something called dynamic creative. Basically, it allows you to upload a bunch of images, headlines, text inside of the ad, and then it'll mix and match it all together. I don't really like to use this anymore. I specifically like to create multiple ads so I can A/B test them to see what ad drives most conversions. But again, we're going to get into that in another chapter. I just want to touch base on what the dynamic creative is here. From there, we're going to go to a budget schedule. And for me on a creative test, I like to spend about $50 a day just to make sure that we're getting the volume of data we need quick. I don't play with the budget scheduling or any of this garbage. I just leave it as is. Again, keeping it simple is key here. Then here you can actually dial in where you're running the ads. You can also exclude places, which is pretty cool. And to show you why someone would use exclude, let's say you wanted to run ads to Miami, Florida, and it's at the lowest, it's a 10-mile radius here, but you didn't want to maybe say, you didn't want to target this area, this area, this area, like you only really wanted to get very specific here. So what you can do is you can set up an exclude button, you can hit drop pin, and then here we can start building a radius on the outside, which would basically allow us to make sure that we're only getting in a very key region. So as you see, we included Miami, but we started adding all of these exclusions, and let's assume, I don't know, we want to just get very close to this point here. Maybe there's a concert going on or an event, and we just want to target people that are near in and around the event area. That is how you can use the exclusions feature, again, to dial in this radius even better. Another cool thing you can do as well is something called saved locations. So if you run ads to a very specific set of locations, and instead of wanting to, punch them in every single time, you can create a list of, let's say, cities, and let's say we're going to do, Los Angeles, Miami, New York, Tampa, and let's say Phoenix, Arizona as well. You could then match the locations and then say that as a specific set of locations where instead of coming back and typing all those individually, you would just hit browse, you'd hit saved locations, and then you would have that list right there that you could click on, and it will automatically include everything that you want to target. Now, Meta has started to do this thing here where it says if people are traveling to these locations or making purchases there, they can show it to those people as well. I don't like to turn that on if we're doing something like local business. So keep that in mind. Meta's constantly adding all these new things that allows them to spend your money more for you. And in certain applications, it doesn't make sense. Now, up next, what we're going to have is our actual audience targeting. And by default, you're going to have something called Advantage Plus targeting turned on. Now, what Advantage Plus targeting does is it allows Meta's AI to find audiences for your ads. If, however, you add an audience suggestion, you'll guide our AI towards people you think are likely to respond. The way I like to think about this is assuming you're maybe a police officer and you're like, yo, German Shepherd, I think that car has the drugs. What the Shepherd's going to do is it's going to go follow your order. It's going to smell that car out. And if you were right, bingo, you cut a lot of time out and it's going to find the drugs in that car. However, if you were wrong, the Shepherd's going to do what it does best. It's going to use its nose and it's going to sniff around going to all the other cars until it finds what you're looking for. And that's the same concept here. So 99% of the time, I'm using Advantage Plus Audience, where we'll come in, we'll add some detailed targeting. And let's say we're trying to target contractors for whatever reason, specifically home renovation contractors. What I would do is I'd type in something like home renovation. Cool, we got home improvement here. I'm going to hit suggestions. Again, we got renovation there. We got home construction. And honestly, I'll leave that at around 3. I like to choose 3 to 5 audience suggestions here. And then there's also this thing that's really cool called define further, where if you see right now, we're basically targeting everyone that's into construction. It may not actually be a contractor. So what we can do is we can define further and we can search for something like construction and extraction, which is a demographic. You see, these are interests. So it's people that are interested in certain things. But this one is a demographic where people work with roles in construction and extraction. Examples include service technician, electrician, bricklayer, mechanic, machine operator, etc. If you also take a peek, our estimated audience size is now 670,000 to 789,000, which is probably way closer of representation compared to 87 million, because I highly doubt there's 87 million home interior contractors that work on people's homes. So again, this define further button is very cool and it can work tremendously if you actually know how to leverage it properly. Again, this is what I would run 95% of the time. However, if you do want to use something specific like a custom audience or a lookalike audience, what we would do is come down here where it says switch to original audience options. We're going to toggle that on. We're going to say that's all good. We're going to use original audience. And then here we can actually use a custom audience. Now, to create a custom audience, what you're going to do is you're going to hover over here where it says audiences. You're going to click on it and then you're going to make sure that the right ad account is selected. And then here you will have all sorts of different types of audiences you've created. If you come up to the top left, you can create a new audience. And the first example we're going to do is a custom audience, which allows you to connect with people who have already shown an interest in your business or product, or a custom audience. You can create an audience from your customer contacts, website traffic, or mobile app. So when we click on this, you see here, we have a lot of sources that we can choose from. We can choose a website visitor. We can choose app activity. So this is people that actually click and engage with some sort of app. Catalog, I don't really use this too much. A customer list. So if you have an Excel spreadsheet of thousands of people in there, you can go ahead and you can upload that spreadsheet into Meta and it will allow you to retarget those people, which is really cool. You can use offline activity, which honestly, we don't really use too much. However, what we really use a lot of here is video. So you can create an audience of people who've watched one or more of your videos on Facebook or Instagram. You can use lead forms. So people that have opened and use your lead form, instant experience or something else. Shopping, again, we're not really going to get into that here. This one, don't really use too much. Facebook page, again, not really. Events, we don't really run event marketing, so again, not really. Or Instagram account, which can actually be useful in certain applications. But what we like to use the most is going to be number 1, website, number 2, video, and number 3, customer list. Now, let's say in this example, we want to create a custom audience of people that have watched our videos, which, by the way, this will lead very aggressively into our strategy chapter. So again, we're going to go over this again in another chapter. We're going to hit next. We then hit engagement type. And me specifically, I like to run people who have viewed at least 75% of your video. Granted, our videos are around 90 seconds long. Now that Reels has 3-minute placements, we're going to start doing 2 to 3 minute Reels. So these are very qualified people because they've watched at least a minute, 2 minutes of my video specifically. And I want to retarget those people. So we're going to select that. And then here you can hit select videos. You can choose the different pages you want. And then you can come in and start toggling all the videos that you want to retarget. What's also really cool is you can come back, as we already have one of these. I can select this. I can hit edit. We can edit the videos so we can come back and select more videos in the past. Audience retention max is 365 days. So you can only target people that have watched your video over the past 365 days. And then again, you drop the audience a name. So that is how you create a custom audience. Again, very specific. It requires more strategy to do this properly. And if you need some help, we actually do some one-on-one work. You can check out a link down below. But from there, once we have a custom audience, then we can create something called a lookalike audience, which allows you to reach new accounts who are similar to audiences you already care about. You can create a lookalike audience based on people who like your page, conversion pixels, or any of your existing custom audiences. So if we click on this, you'll see it's going to ask us to select a source. So we can do is we can leverage one of these pixels or data sets, or on the other hand, you can use other sources, which is going to allow you to actually use custom audiences that we created. So as you see right here, 75% video view was the custom audience we just created. So I could click that. I could select countries. I could be like United States. Let's just say Canada as well for this example. And then we can select the audience size as well in a percentage basis. Now you can get very advanced. You can create 5 different audiences to test. But again, I'm a big fan of keeping it simple. So I'm just going to create one, and honestly, 0 to 2% or 0 to 1% if you want to get very specific works wonders. So you'd hit create audience, and then in here it would now say lookalike audience, and then it would show you what it was based off of. You can also create audiences inside of the ads manager specifically, just a nice little shortcut in there, but I wanted to give you guys the full tutorial on how to create a custom audience individually on the audiences page. But again, let's say I wanted to run ads specifically to people who have seen 75% video views or more. That is how I would select it. And now this ad would only be run to people who watched my videos, which if you haven't included is so damn powerful because we're creating a list of invisible leads that we can retarget on Meta and show up over and over and over again. Pair this with the right strategy, it's almost impossible to not make money with Meta ads. But again, we're going to get into my strategy in another chapter. I'm just teasing this a little bit here. So that again is a full breakdown of the audience. Typically, what I like to do is just use the Advantage Plus placement, dial in my location, and when I'm not using a custom audience, I'll go ahead and I'll do my suggestions in here. But if I am using a custom audience, again, very important to note, I'm not going to leave Advantage Plus on because it's going to find people outside of my audience, and I don't want that to happen in certain use cases. I only want people who engage with my brand to see certain ads. And then last quick point is the placements. Honestly, I have just left Advantage Plus on. I'm letting Meta's AI do everything for me. I'm a big believer that Meta AI knows exactly who to find and when to find them. And if you try to limit the AI platform, I mean, just imagine it. You have like Nike, Apple, all these billion-dollar brands throwing hundreds of billions of dollars into Meta's ad platform, and then there's you. So you're telling Meta, okay, I want to run ads as well. Meta's constantly trying to take all these different ads, find the right people in real time, put it in the feed, all this fun stuff. And when you limit it and you're like, you know what, I don't want you to show my ad here, 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 and here, what ends up happening is you limit the overall algorithm from doing what it does best, which is finding you good conversions and good leads at the right time, and you basically force it into a restricted little box. So again, 95% of the time we're running Advantage Plus placements. We're just letting Meta do its thing. The only time that we don't use Advantage Plus placements is in our retargeting strategy, because in our retargeting strategy, we're really driving people to watch video views. So we're basically going to turn off everything that's not a feed. So we'll turn off the profile feeds. We'll turn off the marketplace. We're going to turn off the explorers. We're going to turn off the in-stream ads. We're going to turn off search results. And the only things that we're really going to leave on are Instagram Reels, Instagram profile Reels, Facebook Reels, Facebook Stories, and Instagram Stories, as well as the Instagram feed and the Facebook feed. Again, this specific application is if I want someone to watch a video ad, and that's what I'm really pushing them for, again, like a retargeting strategy. So I only want Meta to show my ad in the actual feeds where people are most likely to consume video. But again, guys, 95% of the time, you're going to be better off just using the Advantage Plus placements and letting Meta do what it does best. Now, I've also been asked so many times, Matei, how do I run an ad set? How many ads should I run an ad set? How do I structure it? And the way I like to do it, which has been the best for me as well as all of our clients, is we will create one ad set for one ad concept. Now, when I say ad concept, it's going to be the same image, or maybe it's going to be the same style of video with the same body. But what we do is we create micro variations of that ad, and then we run those as individual ads. So it'd be like 1001 is the ad set, and then we'll have 3 ads, 1001A, 1001B, 1001C. And let's say this is a video ad. Basically, what we'd be changing is the hook here. So 1001A would be hook A, this would be hook B, this would be hook C, which is really like first, 3 to 10 seconds of that video. And then from there, everything else is the same in that video. It's the same body, everything is the same. We're just creating, again, a few different micro variations to test messaging and see if we can further increase conversions. So again, the concept is simple. Each ad set gets its own ad style, and then we're going to create micro micro variations of that ad style and place it at the ad level. So with the ad set out of the way, the last thing to chat about is the actual ad structure and the best practices here. So now that we have the ads out of the way, the last thing I want to chat about is the ads, the best practices, and how to run profitable ads on Meta. And before we actually dive into the entire ad and everything that's associated with it, it's very important for you guys to know that your offer equals everything. Like, you can do everything perfectly right when it comes to running Meta ads, but if the offer sucks and you're trying to sell shit that's been polished, nobody's going to want to buy it. So the offer truly is everything. Now, when it comes to running a good offer, I have a few key points that I want to mention. Number one, I like to use my SMART offer framework, where number one, we have to be very specific, right? We're going to call out contractors. Maybe they want to make an extra 50K, 100K, sign an extra 3 to 4 jobs a month. So specific. It's got to be measurable, something that you can actually measure. Because if I just say, hey, I can help you make more money, like, that's going to be a shitty offer. It's got to be measurable. How much money? Let's get specific. Let's be measurable. Then we have to make sure that it's attainable, because if I told you, hey, I'm going to get you 700 new home renovation projects in the next 30 days, you look at me like I'm a moron. So it has to be attainable. It also has to be relevant to them, right? And relevancy can also mean maybe I'm going to tell you, hey, we're going to help you get more projects, not more leads, because leads might not be relevant. They might not give a shit about leads, because unqualified leads, like, they don't care. They want something that's relevant to them, which is oftentimes going to be closer to the actual purchase. So again, in this example, what's relevant to the contractor is probably going to be projects sold, not leads. It's also important to note that what's attainable and relevant might differ based off the size of the business. So if I'm trying to increase the lead quality, one of the first things I like to do when I look inside of an ad account is identify the offer and who we're attracting. And instead of saying, hey, I'm going to help you get 2 to 3 extra home renovation projects a month, we might say, hey, we'll help you get 7 to 10. And then we'll also call out home renovation contractors that have at least 2 crews, because put yourself in their mind. If you have 2 crews, what's an extra 2 to 3 jobs going to do? You're probably going to need an extra 7 to 10 jobs per month to keep everything fueled. So again, thus far, making sure we're specific, measurable, attainable, relevant. And then the last thing is time bound. If I just say I'm going to get you 7 to 10 projects, what does that even mean? In a year, 5 years, 20 years, right? Like, we got to add time to it as well. So that is why I like to make my offers smart offers. And then on top of that, if you can add a risk reversal inside of your offer, it just makes it that much more cold friendly, because that's really what we're doing. We're running ads to people who don't know you. They don't give a shit about you. They only care about what's in it for them. So being able to do something that's specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, time bound, and has a risk reversal on there is 100% the best way to run ads to a cold friendly audience and to actually make money on day one. So with that out of the way, let's jump back into the ad section and break down step by step some of the best practices here. Obviously, first thing you're gonna do is make sure you're choosing the right Facebook page and Instagram page. From there, we're going to be creating an ad. You can use an existing post as well if it's something on Instagram or another ad in the past, but in this case study, we're going to just create a new ad. We're going to manually upload it, and then here's the format where you can choose video, carousel, or collection. Honestly, we're not really using this too much. It's just mainly single image or video and carousel. And here I wanted to actually chat about a pro tip. I know a lot of people run image ads, but when you run an image ad, Facebook only allows you to upload a 1x1 image, basically a square. Now, when you're paying for ads, the more real estate you can take up on that screen, the better it is. So what I love to do, and again, this is a pro tip, is I will go into Canva. I will create the image at a 4:5 ratio, which allows me to show up in the feed section. It also allows for a more native experience inside of Reels and Stories, because now we're going more vertical. And then I also make sure that the ad is 15 seconds long, because then it also gives me the ability to track and measure things like the hook rate and the hold rate. So again, most of the time we're using either an image formatted as a video 4:5 with 15 seconds long, or we're going to actually run a native video ad. Now, we do also use carousel, and carousel can be used specifically. It's great if you have a product showcase. So again, we run ads for some home renovation contractors where we'll show a carousel of a bunch of different projects they've done. It's also great for a testimonial slider, because you can load up a bunch of testimonials. But again, most of the time what I'm doing specifically is I'm leveraging video, either image video or native video, where we're recording and shooting stuff. And then sometimes we will use the carousel as well. Now from there, honestly, don't really spend too much time or attention here. It's fine, just keep going past it. Where we have now our primary text. Now when it comes to primary text, the hook is the most important thing. So typically you'll be able to see around 2 lines of text on the ad first thing. On Instagram, you'll really only be able to see 1. So this is one of the most important things, because as you see, again, it's also the first thing on Facebook that they see, and it's really designed to capture the attention of your core audience. So in this ad, we're going to say native integration with Go High Level. That's going to get anyone who uses Go High Level as a CRM's attention, and it's going to get them to stop and look at our ad. Another pro tip is you can send this to yourself on mobile. It only works if you have an iPhone. So if you have an Android, stop being lame, get an iPhone. And that way you can preview the ad just to see how it feels. But again, back to the ad copy, I like to personally write our ad copy short, punchy. I also like to add humor in there because if I can make someone laugh or chuckle, they're going to think our ad is good. If they think our ad is good, they're going to like our brand more and they're going to be more intrigued to click off the ad platform and to go check out our landing page. Now, I'm not going to walk you through this entire thing. If you want to pause it and read it yourself, feel free to. Now, I do want to bring your attention to this here. This is some comedy. So I'm like, imagine this. You push a few buttons, unlock a cheat code. Next thing you know, your ads are winning. I mean, winning big. I'm talking pop champagne and accidentally text your S-type big. No more fingers crossed ad campaigns. No more praying to Lord Zuck for better CPMs. In fact, your competitors won't even know what is happening. So if you want to unlock the GTA cheat code, hit the button below or don't. Keep saying word to wire client, whatever. But again, I like to add some humor in there. Just my style of running ads. And then after the actual primary text, we have something called the headline and the description. And in this specific ad, we're very aggressive in trying to prove how much better we are than one of our competitors. So we write, our brand versus our competitors. And then we also have a try risk-free description. And as you see, when someone's looking at the ad, it's just like it pops. It's very easy to see and understand what it is we do. There's a risk-free guarantee in there. And in a nutshell, really what we're trying to do is make it impactful, make sure people understand exactly what the ad is about so you can leverage things like headline and description to do that for you. Now, up next, we have Advantage Plus Creative. I'm turning on most of these except for the visual touch-ups, which is basically going to crop our video if it's a video for us. I do not want Meta sitting there and cropping it because it might get rid of some very important text. But honestly, everything else I just leave on. Again, I'm a big believer that Meta's AI is really good. And if they can improve our performance, they probably will. Up next, we're gonna have the destination, which is basically where we're gonna send people to. So here's where we actually put the website URL. Although what I really like to do is leverage the display link as well, because the display link will control what the link looks like on the ad. So instead of it being like learn.adkong.ai/LP, which looks like shit in my opinion, I'm gonna go something that's a bit more ballsy. I'm gonna be like adkong.ai/Hyros killer. Now, the amount of people that have seen this and actually commented on it has been wild. So again, another little tip is use the display link. I'd put in something like better ads, because again, the concept is I want to be short and punchy and I want people to understand what our ad is about at a quick glance. And this gives me the opportunity to do that. Now, you can also add browser add-ons like a call button where people will see a button to actually call you, or a messaging app where they can see a button at the bottom to send you a DM. I don't like to do that because I'm single focused here. Like, I want people to go on our landing page and schedule a call with our team to chat about our software. Then moving on, we have our tracking, which again, we're going to get into this in a completely other chapter, but I like to make sure we have website events and offline events toggled. Offline events are going to be coming from AdKong. If you use AdKong, we take all of your offline conversions and we send it back to the ad platform. So we're definitely toggling that on. And then here at the bottom, we have a set of URL parameters that are necessary in order to track all of our ads. Again, we'll get into that in another spot of the video, but URL parameters are the core concept when it comes to tracking your ads. Now, I know in this example, we used website as our conversion location. However, I do want to quickly go over some of the best practices if you want to use instant forms. So here's an instant form that we have done in the past where we're using a rich creative style. In our intro, we're going to make sure that we have our guarantee or our offer again in the headline. And then in the overview, I'm using this as a place to actually sell people and get them excited about possibly going forward and moving on. So again, we're gonna be like, we help you generate sales, not leads. And we're lead follow-up, pre-qualified sales appointments, results, or you don't pay. You can also build the story, how it works, products. I don't really care about that. Specifically us, we like to use social proof. We're here, we're gonna screenshot testimonials from our clients and we're gonna show them in there. And then we can also create an incentive at the bottom where it's like guaranteed results, only pay if it works, 100% results-based guarantee. We then get into the questions. I love to use conditional logic. Again, I have another video on my YouTube page specifically for generating leads using the lead forms, but we like to ask qualifying questions. So people like, I don't know pool contracting business, we're going to end that completely. We're not going to send them forward. We'll then get their full name, email, phone number, company name, and city. And then at the end, we'll be like, wait, you're not done. Hit the button below, gift, get a free estimating template. And then when they tap here, we send them to the landing page that has the actual calendar booking. Another pro tip is you can do this exact same thing, but inside of Messenger. So again, we're going to restate our offer and kind of hit a few different sales points. We're going to have our questions, right? This one here is a qualifying question, which annual revenue, 0 to 3 disqualify, 0 to 7 disqualify, 7 to 1 they can move forward. If they're making over 700K, they can move forward. We then ask, can you invest a minimum of 2K into ads? If they say no, again, we're going to disqualify them. And then we get their phone number, we get their company name, and then we get their work email. If all goes good, we're like, thanks, you're all set. You can view our website. And then again, here we actually send them to to book a call. And as of recently, I've actually enjoyed using Messenger more than the instant forms because you can get the exact same information from Messenger, but what it gives you is an extra contact point via DMs to reach out to your lead. And if you see right here, Facebook Messenger has 88% open rates and 56% click-through rates. So not only are you getting their name, email, phone number, you can call them, you can text them, send them to the landing page, but you also unlock a brand new place to message them, which is going to be on Messenger, which has 88% open rates and very high click-through rates. So now that we've gone through our best practices for KPI setup and actually learning how to read the data, we've set up the campaign with the best practices, we've set up our ad set and audience with best practices, and we've walked through the ad itself and the best practices for the ad. The next and extremely important part of this is learning how to use the Meta Pixel, the Meta Conversions API, and how to leverage Meta AI through its Advantage Plus audience. Now, for those of you who don't know, Meta leverages AI to find your ideal customers. And in order for this AI to actually work properly, it needs as much data as possible to understand who your ideal customer is. That way, when it goes out to try to find people, it knows exactly who to look for and brings you qualified candidates. Now, this whole concept wraps around something called the Meta Pixel. But before we dive into the Meta Pixel, I just want to show you what the Meta Advantage Plus is here. Basically, Advantage Plus is Meta's branding of AI tools. And as you see, it says leverage the performance power of AI for specific parts of your campaign while keeping other criteria more specifically defined with Meta Advantage Plus single-step actions. As you see, we've already been through the Advantage Plus audience, which allows AI to find people for you. You can now use Advantage Plus in the creatives. You can use Advantage Plus placements, so Meta just finds the people for you. And then you can also use budget automation, where you're leveraging AI to send your budget to the best opportunities. And again, in order to get the best results from this AI, you need to train the AI on conversion data through the Meta Pixel. Now, the Meta Pixel now lives under something called a data set, where basically the data set is the top entity, and then inside of a data set, you can put a Meta Pixel, you can place Conversions API. So they've done some refactoring. I know a lot of people just call it pixel, pixel, pixel. It's actually now called data sets, and inside of the data set, you can place a pixel, which I'll show you how to do in a few seconds here. But again, just to prove this, if you're inside of your Meta business settings, you can go to business.facebook.com/settings, or you can click this gear icon here. It basically allows you to see everything you have access, all the people, all the pages, the ad accounts, all of the different assets. And under data sources, if you click on pixels, it says we made some changes to our platform. You can now locate this asset in the data sets section within the data sources menu. So under data sources, if I click data sets, here is now where all of this exists. Now, if you don't already have a data set or a pixel, the way to create one is you're going to go to Events Manager, or you can search business.facebook.com/events_manager2. Then you're going to click on data sources. And then after you click on data sources, it's very important for you to click up here in the top right corner and select the right ad account. Once you select the right ad account, you can hit Connect Data, click on Web, hit Next. Again, you can search for an existing data set if you have one. If you don't, you hit Create New Data Set, call it whatever you want. And then now it's going to ask you, how do you want to actually connect your data? Now, we're not going to be setting up the Conversions API gateway because honestly, this is extremely complicated. This is why we've created AI, because it allows you to track conversions and train AI through the Conversions API natively, where basically the concept is we're going to track the conversions, we're going to package it up, we're going to train AI on this conversion data, and then AI is going to increase your ad optimization, which then allows you to track more conversions, feed the AI, increase ad optimization, and it's this never-ending cycle where your ads continuously get better. In this example, instead, we're going to gather website events from browser activity instead of from a server. So we're going to hit Setup Meta Pixel, and then we're going to install the code manually. It will then give you this base pixel code. I copy it and make sure to save this in something like a Google Doc or a Notion doc or any sort of document just for fast reference in the future. And then in order to actually install it, I'm going to be using Go High Level as an example, but honestly, Wix, Squarespace, Webflow, Framer, all of them are basically the exact same thing. You're going to go to your settings, you're going to find your head tracking code, and then you're going to paste that in there. Now, what's also really cool is Meta has something called the Meta Pixel Helper, which is a Chrome extension that you can download onto your browser. And this allows you to check if the pixel is actually on the website. So again, we're going to come here, we're going to select the Meta Pixel Helper. And as you see, it fired off an event to the Meta Pixel called Page View, which is how we set up retargeting campaigns in the future. capture for every time someone views our website. So after we've done that, we're gonna come back, we're gonna hit continue, we're gonna turn on advanced matching, we're gonna hit continue. And if you want to use event setup tool, you can. Again, I think it's fairly complicated and unnecessary when you can use a tool like AdCong that tracks all of the conversion, sends it back to the ad account for you. Okay, basically, we're just using the Meta Pixel to track page views for retargeting. But when it comes to conversion tracking and training the AI, we completely rely on AdCong. Now, if you're curious to understand more about AI ad optimization and how the Conversions API works, number one, it's recommended by Meta for best results. They want you to send full production data from lead all the way to sale. And number two, it's very important if you're actually running a book call or a sales funnel because it's physically impossible for the ad platforms to track the offline data, let alone the actual lead and call. As you saw in another chapter, it said we only had one lead when in reality we had 34. And then it said we had 42 booked appointments when in reality, again, we only had 34. So not only does using AdCong help you get better data and more quality data to make decisions off of, it also helps you track things on the back end like show up, offer, or qualified appointment, as well as deal one, and then send this data back to the ad platform, which helps train the AI machine learning model to understand which type of person becomes a lead, and then which type of person makes it all the way through the sales funnel and eventually purchase. And then when you optimize for purchase campaigns, Meta knows exactly who to look for because we've been training it on conversion data. Now, when you do that, again, this is proven by Meta, you unlock a few different types of things. So the Conversions API offers the following optimization types. Number one, conversion optimizations, which again is going to optimize ad delivery people to most likely to make a conversion, or you get something really cool, which is called ROAS optimization, also known as return on ad spend optimization, where it says it'll optimize ad delivery to show ads to people most likely to make a conversion of a specified value, such as purchases over $50, which is absolutely insane when you really think about it. Like we can tell Meta, yo, I only want you to target people that are going to give me the most amount of money, which just makes running ads so damn easy. Now, it's also important to note that Meta themselves say there is a 1 to 2 month learning phase before the model finishes training with your conversion data. So I don't want to be hyper sensational. So you click a button and the next 5 minutes your ads perform better. It does take some time to train the machine learning model. But once the machine learning model has been trained on conversion data, you'd basically be unlocking sniper-like ad targeting where your ads know exactly who to find and they're constantly finding ideal clients, whereas your competitors are wasting ad money finding people that are not a good fit to work with. Now, to wrap it all up, because I know I kind of jumped around, just to keep things stupid simple, we're going to be using the pixel, which we capture, like I showed you, putting it on the website mainly to track page views, which allows us to use that in retargeting campaigns. And then we're going to be using AdCong to actually track all the conversions and train AI on all the conversion data. Because if you don't use AdCong, you're going to have to spend hours coding it yourself, hiring a developer, and it's a huge pain in the ass. So again, Pixel to track website views and retargeting, and AdCong to track conversions and train AI. All right, so we've gone through all the KPI, how to read the data. We've gone through how to create a campaign, ad set, and an ad. We've gone through the Meta Pixel, how to capture people to retarget, and how to train AI on conversion data. And now we're going to start wrapping it all together with my overall strategy. We're going to walk you through my campaign structure, my ad set structure, my ad structure, and how it all flows together in a beautiful, synchronized marketing strategy. So to start, we're going to be going over direct response ads. And if you don't know what direct response is, it's basically a type of marketing designed to elicit an instant response by encouraging prospects to take a specific action, typically geared towards generating a lead, booking an appointment, or purchasing something. So my direct response ad structure goes like this. We have campaign number one called creative testing. And again, we're spending money here at the ad set level. Inside of the creative testing, we are going to be pushing new ads. Again, each ad gets its own ad set, and then we are creating micro variations of each ad within that ad set just to test different messaging and see if we can further increase our conversion rates. Rule of thumb, you want to be testing at least 3 to 5 new ads per week, so you constantly have new ads coming into the mix. It allows you to beat ad fatigue and keep your performance stable, not up and down. We then have an audience testing campaign, and again, we're spending money here at the ad set level, where the concept here is simple. In our creative testing campaign, we are only testing the actual creatives, so the ad set will always stay the same. And then if we find a winning creative, we can then pump that up into our audience testing ad set, where we have the same creative, although now what we're testing is a different audience. So here we can try lookalike audience testing, we can try new interest-based testing, and really there's a lot of other things, but that is the concept. We find a winner, and then instead of testing the creative, we are now testing to see if we can find a new audience that would allow us to get better performance. And in the same token, we're taking this winning ad ad, and we're duplicating it all the way up inside of our scaling campaign, where here we're telling Meta to spend the money at the campaign level. But the reason we're doing that is because we've already validated that this ad works, and we don't give a shit if Meta spends more on this one compared to this one. We already know all of these ads work, and we want to put them all together and let Meta spend the budget accordingly at the campaign level, picking and choosing which ad set to move forward with. So again, to summarize, because I know it can be a new concept, we have campaign number 1, which is creative testing, campaign number 2, which is our audience testing, and campaign number 3, which is scaling. We run 3 to 5 new creative tests a week inside of here. When we find our winners, we push them up to our scaling, and then we also duplicate it in our audience to see if we can find a new audience that would work with our ads. Now, obviously, all of these ads then push to a conversion page, which, by the way, has a pixel so we can retarget people. And then when people go on this conversion page and we've created this invisible leads list, we can then send them down into our 6-pillar content remarketing strategy. Now, our 6-pillar content remarketing strategy is basically 6 different buckets of ads that we create. It's very important to note that these are not sales-oriented ads, but rather they're specifically designed to nurture prospects, show them how our actual product or service works, give them value, give them trainings, and ultimately become an authority in the space. So again, we follow our campaign structure, we run all of these ads, we drive these ads to our conversion page that has a pixel, and then from there, we also drive all of these people to our remarketing strategy, where we are now nurturing prospects through content, driving engagement, and ultimately driving trust. So now that we have the direct response campaign structure and setup out of the way, I want to walk you through something that's also equally as important, which is our organic and our paid organic concept. So inside of our organic, we're going to be constantly posting anywhere from 14 to 21 videos per week on Facebook and on Instagram. The conversion goal for all of this content is to drive people to watch at least 50 to 75% of our video, which I showed you in chapter 3, how to actually create that retargeting list. So basically, we're getting more invisible leads here, although this time it's for free, which is amazing. We also push people to comment the word X down below to get a free lead magnet or resource. And then when they do, we auto DM them, and then we'll send them to a web page where we're actually giving them that resource again. And important to note that this is also pixeled, so we can again capture invisible leads and retarget them. Now, it's important to note, and I wrote a comment here, that this is an unreal strategy for lead gen and people who use either AI appointment setters, or if you have a hungry team of sales staff frothing at the mouth for high volume. This is an amazing strategy because you are filling your DM section with qualified prospects who are actively looking for free resource that you are giving to them. So they view you as the authority. You gave them something for free. You're building value. You're building trust. And you can now set your entire appointment setting team in the DMs to further continue conversations with people and to further book and drive more conversions. So again, to recap, we have 14 to 21 pieces of content going out every single week. All of this content is driving people to watch the video. We're going to retarget 50 to 75% video views. We're also going to say in the video, comment X down below if you want to get my free Y. Once they do that, we're going to send them a DM, and here's where you can use your appointment setting team to further increase and drive more conversions. And then on top of that, we're going to send them to a web page where they can get the free resource, and this web page is going to be pixeled so that, you guessed it, we can drive them down to our remarketing strategy. And if you haven't pieced together, this is such a core component and concept of our entire strategy, because I don't want to just sell. I want to sell while also providing value, showing our product, getting people familiar with our face, with our brand, and ultimately building trust and authority. So again, every single week, we're going to be pushing new content. We're going to have obviously winning content, and we're going to have no bueno content. Now, for me specifically, what I'm looking for at winning content is A, how much views does it get? B, what's the average watch time? C, how many comments are we getting, especially if it's, comment this to get X? And last, how many shares are our posts getting? These 4 points, by the way, are exactly what Instagram looks for to rank you organically. I know this is not an Instagram or a Facebook organic course, but it ties very much into the overall paid ad side of things. So we find our winning video concepts, and then what we do is we start putting money behind it. So here we have a top of funnel magnet campaign, and then again, we're doing CBO, so we're letting Meta spend the money on each ad. I don't care which one I want to spend more on. All I care is that it's driving video views. The campaign objective, by the way, is max maximize watch time because I want people to watch my content and get value and perceive us as an authority. And putting money behind this allows us to drastically increase our reach. And when we follow the overall sales strategy, again, all of these ads are going to push people to watch the video, which we can then, again, you guessed it, retarget them through our invisible lead strategy. In that video, we're going to say comment X to get Y, where we send them a DM. And then if you have a team, your team can be so happy because they're going to have so many leads incoming that they can try to book into an appointment. And then at the same time, we're going to be giving them a free resource, a free lead magnet on a web page, which we can pixel and, you guessed it, retarget. So as you see, this is a very comprehensive and honestly a bit more advanced strategy where you constantly have new ads incoming. You're testing ad creatives. When you find a winner, you pump it up into scaling so you can scale the shit out of that ad and make as much money from it as possible. You can also audience test that so you can see if you can find a new audience that brings in more conversions. All of these ads are constantly driving people to a conversions page because we have to make money from these ads in order for them to be profitable. On this conversions page, you're going to get people that buy, that book calls, that become clients. You're also going to see a lot of people that don't buy from you, which means that we need to further retarget them in the future. And then on the same token, we're going to leverage Meta's organic to constantly push out videos. We're going to retarget people that have hit 50 to 75% video view. We're also going to get them in the DMs, and we're also going to provide them more value. We're then going to put money behind the winning posts that we have on the platforms, again, to further increase our overall brand awareness and bring more people into our ecosystem, where you guessed it, we're going to get them to watch the video, retarget that, send them in the DMs, and then give them value. And then all of this work feeds down into our never-ending 6-pillar content remarketing strategy, where I'm sharing 2 with you guys because I like to give value, but literally like what I just shared, people pay me thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars to teach them and to implement. And then bonus, I know this is not really meta, but very important in this day and age moving forward, get some YouTube videos going, drive certain YouTube videos where people can go onto a conversions page, or other videos you drive them again to get a free lead magnet. And you guessed it, once they hit these websites, yes, we're going to pixel them, and then we're going to be showing up from YouTube. Next time they open Instagram or Meta, you guessed it, they're going to see more of our strategic ads. Now, I do know that this is a lot in terms of strategy. I hope that it made sense. If you guys would like some help with us to do this for you, feel free to check out the link down below. Full transparency, we're very selective with who we do work with. We do not work with everyone, so it is application-based. So if you'd like for us to build this out for you, run and manage the entire thing, check out the link down below. But if not, that's all good. Let's give you some more free content here. All right, so we've now set up the KPIs and learned how to read data. We've set up the best campaign, ad set, and ad structure. We've set up our MetaPixel to track, and we've also set up our conversions API so we can get more conversions for less ad spend. On top of that, I've also walked you through my insane meta ads marketing strategy and how everything we do pieces together in a nice, beautiful ecosystem. And what I now want to walk you through is our naming convention and organization, because as you can see at scale, this can become very messy if you're not setting things up properly. So in our campaign, we have direct response phase 1 creative testing, direct response phase 2 audience testing, and direct response phase 3 scaling. And then we also have our authoritative retargeting. And that's pretty much it. We're going to constantly be working out of these campaigns. Then when it comes to the ad set specifically, again, I love to add the number of the ad. So like 2001, 2003, 210, 2012, 2009, 2011. Where, like I said in another chapter, this allows us to add one ad at the ad set level so we can track which ad it is. And then we'll also include the audience. And as you see, we're using the exact same audience over and over and over again inside of the creative testing, because I want to isolate one variable and one variable only, which is the creative. I do not want the audience to be a variable in here. So we only use our best and highest performing audience in the creative ad. And then inside of the actual ad itself, we have the ad with the version of it. So as you see, this is 2001A and this is 2011B. And again, piecing it back together, we have the campaign, so direct response phase 1 creative testing. We have our ad sets 1002 with the audience name as well. And then we have the ads, which is the different creative iterations. So 001A, 001B, 001C. Now, I'd also love to give you guys a golden nugget on how to plan, script, edit, record, and actually organize all of your ad creatives in one pipeline. We use Notion religiously. If you've watched my content before, you know that I love Notion. You can do this in Asana, you can do this in ClickUp. I just don't use that personally. But the concept concept is we're going to have our ideas up next, editing in progress, ready to publish. We have publish not live, published, winning creative, and dead creative. We also have automations in here, so every single time we drag to editing in progress, it will send off an automation into a Slack channel notifying our editor that they have new stuff to work on. When they drag it to ready to publish, it will then send a notification back to the marketing channel, where again, you'll be like, you have a new ad ready to go. So it streamlines communication inside of Slack by leveraging automations. When I open this, you can also see I can drop raw footage so that the editor can jump in and see this. We can brainstorm if necessary. We'll actually script the video here as well. And then we can also drop the actual files so the editor can go ahead and drop the uploaded files in there so we can just centralize and track everything in one place. And when you're constantly creating as many ads as we do, having an organized pipeline like that streamlines the entire process and makes it so easy for a big company to ideate, script, edit, and track full funnel production on the ads. So now I'm going to walk you through how to actually optimize and scale your ads, especially with the context of a creative testing campaign and the scaling ads campaign. Again, in the creative testing campaign, we're going to preliminarily be looking at things like the CPM, like are we spending more or less per ad to get in front of 1,000 people. We're then going to be looking at our unique link clicks, cost per unique link click, and our unique CTR. Again, in this ad, we have 495 invisible leads that we generated because we pixeled them and we can retarget them, whereas this one got us 371. This one's getting us a bit lower cost per unique link click compared to this one. But what's really interesting is this one has more people clicking on the ad than this one does as whole. Now, I'm not making decisions based off of this in full transparency, at least like when the data looks like this. If the data was under 1, I'm going to go in, I'm going to see, is it generating leads? Is it not? Right? Like that's going to be more of where I'm actually focusing my attention. But on Meta, these are some of the preliminary things I'm really looking at. But to properly optimize your ads, again, we're going to look at things like lead, cost per lead, appointments, cost per appointment. But really what I'm paying attention to the most are going to be this: how many people are canceling, how many people are showing up, and how many people are qualified, and ultimately what's my cost per qualified appointment. This is really going to be one of the sweet spots for me personally. And then last but not least, what's our ROAS look like? Are we over a 2.5x ROAS? Because again, in order to run ads profitably, you want to acquire a customer and then pay for that customer. So that's a 1x ROAS. You then want to buy another customer from that first customer. It's a 2x ROAS, meaning you spend $100, you get 200, you covered the cost to acquire the first guy, and you can now buy another customer on paid ads. And then do we have some leftover cash flow in the business to operate as necessary? That's going to be our 2.5x ROAS rule within the first 30 days. Once I identify which ads perform, which ads have a good ROAS that meets our criteria, and which ads are bringing qualified appointments to the table, because again, at the end of the day, like you can have a great cost per qualified appointment, but if your closing ratio is absolutely garbage, then it's not the ad that's the issue, it's the sales team that's the issue. And that's why it's so damn important to track data like this, because it gives you just so much insights into your advertising. But once I've identified what works and what doesn't, I'll go back to the Meta Ads platform, and this ad set only has one ad, so we're going to leave it on. We're going to go back to the ad sets. We're going to hit duplicate, and then we're going to duplicate an existing campaign. And here is where we put it into our direct response phase 3 scaling. We're only doing one copy, and very important to note, leave this turned on where you want to show existing reactions, comments, and shares, especially if you do a good job at selling. Like all of our ads have people coming back, like we signed up, we use the software, it's amazing. We have people being like, yo, this is the funniest ad I've ever seen, my new favorite ad. So we have a lot of great engagement. So I 100% want to make sure that we show existing reactions, comments, and shares on the new ad, and then we're going to hit duplicate. So again, it's simple. I'm running creative testing ads. I'm identifying the metrics. This ad doesn't do good. This ad does good. This ad doesn't do good. Maybe this one doesn't do good. This one's cool, and this one isn't cool. So I'm going to turn these off, going to turn these off, turn this off, turn this off. I'm going to leave this one on. I'm going to leave this one on. I then go back to the ad set. I duplicate this ad set, and I plop it into our scaling, and then I'll duplicate this ad set. And again, I will plop it into our scaling campaign, because I already know, hey, it's bringing us qualified appointments, which is what I really give a shit about, right? Like I'm not looking at vanity metrics like cost per lead or cost per appointment, because we've done this so often that we know cost per lead and cost per appointment do not equate qualified appointment. We have case study after case study after case study where 2 ads are A/B tested. Ad number 1 brings in cheaper cost per lead and cost per appointment compared to ad number 2. But when we track cost per qualified appointment, ad number 2 takes the cake. almost every single time. So I don't give a shit about cost per lead and cost per appointment. That's rookie level marketing. What I'm looking for is cost per qualified appointment. Are we getting qualified people on the call to potentially engage with them in a business transaction? If I am, fantastic. I'm going to take that and I'm going to plop it up into our scaling campaign, where again, I don't care if Meta is spending more on this ad compared to this ad. All I care about is that it's scaling creatives that I already know are bringing qualified appointments to the table. And I'm saying, Meta, you do what you want, spend as much as you want on whatever ad set, just bring me the volume, baby. I also get asked a lot like, hey, Matei, why aren't you doing CBO on the creative testing? And although that's a great question, it can work in certain things. Like if you're running e-commerce and you're telling Meta, yo, I want to optimize for sales, and it's like, cool, I'm going to find you the best sales. You could very well run just one campaign in that scenario and have a CBO. But because we are optimizing for qualified appointments, Meta doesn't have a qualified appointment. It's not going to be able to track qualified appointments. So if we do CBO right here, it's going to try to find the cheapest cost per lead and cheapest cost per appointment. And I just said, we don't give a shit about cost per lead and cost per appointment because it's happened so many times where something that has a cheap cost per lead and appointment has a way more expensive qualified appointment compared to the one that has more expensive cost per lead and appointment ends up having a cheaper cost per qualified appointment. So we are validating the creatives, we're tracking the stats. Once we know what works, we then take it, we duplicate it into our scaling campaign. Another pro tip when it comes to optimizing your ads and scaling your ads is try to find recurring themes as to why one ad specifically is doing good. What about the messaging? What about the hook? What about the image? What about the offer? Like, what are we saying in the ad creative that is attracting qualified people to hop on a sales call with us compared to another one? Again, we do this for a living. So another case study I can give you is we were working with someone who works with home renovation contractors. They were getting really cheap cost per lead just by saying, you know, home renovation contractors, do you want X? But what he noticed was the show up rate was shit and the quality of these people was garbage. So what I told him to do was refine your messaging to only call out home renovation contractors that have at least 2 crews. You can guess what happened. The cost per lead went up and the cost per appointment went up, but he was closing 30% of all people that showed up because the qualification rate was insane and the show up rate was even better. So again, to summarize this pro tip, make sure you're identifying and analyzing your winning ads. Identify what specifically are we talking about? What is the hook? What is the offer? Who are we talking to? How can we reproduce this and replicate this to further drive more conversions in our ad account? All right, so with all of the strategy out of the way, you now know how to read and analyze data, how to set up ads, a great strategy for you to make money, how to optimize your ads, all that fun stuff. I want to do something what no one else on YouTube is doing, which is show you my winning ads. Now, for context, I've run several businesses over the last several years, so I'm going to be showing you some of my ads for my agency. I'm going to be showing you some ads that I've run with other people. And I'm also going to be showing you some ads for my software company just to kind of get the wheels turning and show you as many different examples as possible. So this ad right here was for my agency. By the way, this ad had a 12x ROAS, which was absolutely insane. It made us so much damn money right out the gate. So I'm going to hit play and then I'll stop it to kind of analyze and give you some key points as to why I think it worked so well. So right out the gate, I mean, as you see, we're calling out our audience. Pool builders want to triple your business. Yeah, obviously, like we have their attention. We also say pool builders right here, stop emoji, right? Like we're capturing their attention. We specifically put this before and after of a project that I actually did when I used to own my luxury pool construction company. So we put the before and after because they're going to scroll. They'll be like, oh, what the hell, a pool? I'm a pool guy. I'm a pool builder. I want to shut my business. Pool builder, right? Like we're doing everything possible to stop that thumb from scrolling and capturing their attention. And then once we capture their attention, this was the ad.
Are you a pool builder looking to make an extra 150 to 300K next month?
Are done. Boom, right there, right? Offer specific. Are you a pool builder looking to make an extra 150 to 300K next month, right? Like a specific smart offer right out the gate.
For you marketing system will make you an extra 150 to 300K next month, guaranteed, or you don't pay a dime.
Boom. We're restating the offer, risk reversal, very bold, very ballsy. We definitely had to refund some people because they sucked at sales. But on the flip side, we also made a lot more money by attracting people and giving them a good risk reversal. So that was the hook.
Now, I know you might be thinking, who is this kid and what does he know about pools?
Boom. We have a hook and now we have a rehook. I love this rehook. I use this rehook all the time and it works so damn well. Like every time I've used it in someone else's ad account, in my own ad account, anytime we've used that rehook, it does so well because people are thinking that, who is this kid and what the does he know about X, right?
To keep things short, I'm literally on your team. I run a...
Boom, now we're adding some relatability.
Seven-figure pool company was literally in the trenches digging with
showing proof of concept. There's my ugly bald head when we used to run our pool construction company with all my machinery.
mini excavators, installing pools.
There's me in a
cabanas,
mini
and even
excavator.
floating pool
There's us building a cabana.
equipment around. This system is
Boom. So social proof, right? Hook, rehook, social proof.
only reason I've been able to scale past 7 figures with my company, and has now been downloaded into other pool contractors' businesses, helping Jeremy, for example, sell $470,000 in his first 5 weeks with us.
Boom. More social proof. Proof that this shit works.
Or Alex, who just sold a $278,000 pool project during his second week.
Boom. More social proof.
Again, the system is so good that we have a 100% no questions asked guarantee in place, where if we don't generate you the results, you simply don't pay a dime.
Boom. Risk reversal.
If you are looking to make an extra 150 to 300K next month, guaranteed, hit that button down below and see
Rewrapping up the offer, call to action.
if your market's still available. If it is, go ahead and schedule a free coaching call where me
Boom, we're going to chat with you and show you it. So that was one winning ad that made me so much money. Now, here is another winning ad creative that I ran for a friend of mine, Cody. He has an SEO agency and he needed help scaling his agency. He was working for another company, had no clients, had no way of getting clients. Everything he was doing was failing. So I stepped in, we ran his ads for him. And within the first 8 months, he hit $92,000 a month in recurring revenue, and he was literally using the same ad, and we just made some micro variations of it, but it was the same concept. As you see though, we took this image, we made it into a 4x5 video, like I said in the other chapter. We get more real estate on the swipe. We can also add some arrows, just some motion. The offer is unreal. Rank #1 on Google or your money back. Your business, boom, #1 on Google. We show the phone in your face, so when you're scrolling, it's like, oh, what am I looking at? It makes you want to dissect and understand what you're looking at. And then we also took this and made some other iterations. So this was another offer that we worked with someone else where they were doing sales calls on a pay-per-appointment basis. So again, iPhone in your face, notifications, and then we tried the same concept except without the hand. We just did a bigger iPhone with bigger notifications and tried different colors. And then this, honestly, you may have seen this ad a lot. A lot of people are seeing our ad with this one specifically. It was one of our winning ads when it comes to our software company. And we made a 5x ROAS with this on a software company, by the way, which is unheard of because we're selling a few $100s a month. We're not selling 3-4K upfront month one. So to make a 5x ROAS on paid ads, selling a few $100s a month is unheard of. Typically, the rule of thumb stage, you're supposed to make your money back after 90 days. So you're going to acquire a customer and be in debt for 90 days. But I'm like, yo, f that. I know how to run ads. I know how to do this shit profitably. Let's run it. And boom, it worked right out the gate. And a few of the reasons why I think is #1, we have very specific jargon: cost per call, cost per show, cost per offer, CAC, close, ROAS. Like your average normie doesn't know what a ROAS is. He doesn't know what CAC is. He's going to look down his pants to try to identify what his CAC is. And he doesn't like, well, cost per show, cost per show what, right? Like, what does that even mean? So we're using specific jargon that captures our audience's attention, specifically the greatest agency ad dashboard, right? Like we want to talk to agency owners specifically because our product is honestly built to get the most value out if you are an agency. The reason is we give you the ability to create unlimited client sub accounts for free without charging you per sub account. So it really comes in handy if you're an agency running a lot of ad accounts that you want to track. We write syncs with high level right there because if you use high level, boom, it's good. You're going to see that and you'll be like, oh, okay. We also have native integration with high levelers, right? Like where we're calling out people that use high level. So that works really well. And then we're comparing ourselves to a competitor in the market. Again, high risk killer, ad conk over high risk, try risk free. And then as you see, it's still another image ad, put 4x5 with 15 seconds because I've already stated this principle. You get more real estate per swipe, and we can also measure and track things like hook rate and hold rate. Because if I'm hooking people and then I'm holding them, what are they doing? There's not a lot to look at here. Oh, maybe they're coming and they're actually reading our ad copy. Cool. So it gives us analysis to understand what types of ads do well, etc. And those are the 3 ads that I wanted to share with you. Now, I actually have some pro tips that I also want to mention. #1, this is a quote made by me. Being good at ads is figuring out how to say the same shit over and over and over and over again. So how would we do that? All right, we have this right here, right? We know this image works. So how can I say this over and over again? I can try other image creatives and variations, different colors on the background, maybe different wording. I can literally create so many variations just off this in image format. I can also turn this into a video where I use a proper hook. If you use high level and you run an agency, this software can help you track your ROAS, your CAC, your close ratio, your cost per show, your cost per offer, and feed the data back to the AI algorithm so you can lower your ad costs you kind of get where I'm going with it. I can turn this into a video. If we're doing it vice versa, if I have a winning video, cool. I'm just going to take the key concepts, the offer, risk reversal, right? Like the specific smart offer. I'm going to take that, I'm going to put it into an image, or we can try using carousel, which a carousel is like a swiping ad format, right? Like you have one image and then you swipe and you see the next image and you swipe and you see the next image. Or maybe I'll tell a story through carousel. I could be like on image number 1, agency owners want to reduce your cost to acquire a customer with an arrow pointing, they swipe, and then we're telling more of the story, they swipe. It's basically like a slideshow in a carousel format. If it's a video, I can record the exact same video, maybe now on my nice camera, maybe next time I'm going to whip out my iPhone, I'm just going to walk and talk and say it. Maybe next time I'm going to do it in the car. Maybe another time I'm going to do it in a different setting. If I'm working with pool contractors, maybe I'll go actually out. I'll find a job site with someone digging a pool and I'm going to hold up my iPhone and talk, say the same thing. And another way to do that is just to try different angles, right? Because I can say one thing one way, but I've actually found there's 4 key ways to say the same thing. Number 1 is actionable. Here's how to X without Y. Number 2 is analytical. Some people like analytical stats, right? Like 75% of pool contractors that run meta ads do Y, or 85% of our pool contractor clients make over 200 grand a month, right? Like analytical. We can do aspirational where we're telling story, right? James, Julie, Jim, John, all these guys are signing social proof, story, how we changed our life, right? Aspirational. Or belief breaking, where you could be like, the truth is to scale your pool contracting company, you don't actually need to use Angie's leads. Or the truth is to scale your agency's ads, you don't actually need to spend more on ad spend. So I can say the exact same thing, again, through an actionable lens, through an analytical lens, through an aspirational lens, or through a belief-breaking lens. All right, so now that I've shown you actual winning case studies of ads that I've run that have made us a lot of money, I want to share with you a step-by-step tutorial on how you can actually create a winning ad today in under 20 minutes or less with no previous experience required and by leveraging AI tools. So what we're going to do is step number 1, we're going to go to TikTok.com, and I searched for chiropractor because we're going to be running an ad, let's say for a chiropractor-based agency that is trying to bring more qualified chiropractors into their sales funnel. So I'm going to search for chiropractor. Pro tip, download TikTok and Instagram Sorter. This then gives you this Chrome extension where you can sort by views, and we're going to go descending. And then you see we have some already viral videos where I'm probably going to do this one because we all know sex sells. There's a butt right there. We see a thong in there. So I'm going to click it, and it looks like he's doing the exact same angle over and over again. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to download this video, and I'm going to clip these shots where it's like he cracks one butt, and then he cracks another butt. And then, yeah, he cracks another butt. And then you guessed it, he cracks another butt. Oh, and another one. This guy's just getting his hands all over these ass cheeks. But anyways, I think this will do great. So we're going to take this link, we're going to go to TikTok Downloader and download it, and then we're going to download without watermark. Now, this is not legal advice. What I would say to make this compliant is just, I don't know, tag this guy somewhere on the video, give him credits for it. But this is not legal advice. It's just something that we've done and has been being done in the industry and has worked over and over and over again. So next, we're going to open CapCut. We're going to import this video, and I'm going to look for the moments right before he cracks that ass. All right, we got it right there. We're just going to delete everything there. I'm going to turn the audio down because we do not want the audio from the video. All right, he cracks one. Honestly, I'm not going to clip these out. I'm probably just going to make it faster. Boom, boom, boom. Another one. Oh my God. All right, so instead of just clipping all this out, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to speed it up a little bit, and I'm going to come back to this action. So we're going to take, again, this video, import it into CapCut. We're then going to type in our script here. So feel free to use this template. All right, so I just freehand drafted this script. I'm like, are you a chiropractor with multiple locations looking to sell long-term patients without having to waste money on an agency? Cool. If so, we work on a pay-per-show results, on a pay-per-results model, meaning you only pay us after we take a deposit and schedule a patient in at your location. So if I was working with chiropractors, I would want the offer to be as close to what they want as much. So that would be pay-per-results. We're going to get the lead. We're going to book the lead in for an appointment, and they have to give us a deposit of maybe like $25, $50, and only after we take that small deposit do we schedule them in, and they would pay us after that happens. And again, the only question becomes, are you serious about it? You want to sit back, competitors, take customers again, kind of just agitating the problem, and then recapping the offer with the call to action. Now, if more patients on a pay-per-results model sounds at all interesting, hit the learn more button down below to see if your market's still available.
I think this is a really nice way to just talk naturally together. Talk plainly. Let's give it a shot. After all, the most important, if you really think you're loaded, hide it.
All right, I like this.
can assure you, we're very much Mr. All
right, so now that I have the script here, I'm going to hit generate speech.
Are you a proprietor with multiple locations looking to sell long-term?
And once it's been generated, then we can click this download button where we have saved it. Once we have saved our audio, we're going to go back to CapCut and we are going to drag our audio in as well. And as you see, we're fairly close already to matching the timelines. So step number one, I'm actually going to come here. I'm going to change this speed up a little bit, just a little bit, because it is AI generated. So if you go too fast, it sounds bad, to 1.1. And then I'm going to come back here to this speed and I'm going to try to sync them together. So I'm going to go to 1.3 and boom, very, very close. I really don't care. Yeah, it's half a second. Cool. So we have gotten this video. We are now going to export it. And after we've exported it, we're going to close down CapCut and then we're going to head over to Submagic. We're going to upload our video here. And now that this video has been uploaded, we are going to add our captions. All right, so I've chosen my subtitles, my captions. I mean, I'm going to drag the position of the captions to be right near that ass. Because again, we know where the eyes are going to draw. We're going to capture the attention. Let's just keep the subtitles there, a little bit of a marketing act. And then we're going to export the video. And just like that, we have a video that captures our core audience's attention. Because again, who are we trying to find? We're trying to find chiropractors. And what are chiropractors probably going to watch? Other chiropractors cracking people's backs. Now, it just so happens that this one, we already know and validated that it went viral on TikTok because it had almost 500,000 views. And it has the added bonus of showing butt cheeks in it. And we know that's going to stop people to get their view. And what we do is we strategically place an offer on top of it by using AI voiceover. And then to make things even simpler, we're using an AI tool to create AI generated captions. And here's the final output.
Are you a chiropractor with multiple locations looking to sell long-term patients without having to waste money on an agency? If so, we work on a pay-per-results model, meaning you only pay us after we take a deposit and schedule a patient in at your location. The only question becomes, are you actually serious about growing? Or do you want to sit back and watch your competitors take your customers again? Now, if more patients on a pay-per-results model sounds at all interesting, hit the button down below to see if your market is still available.
Boom, we got the booties. So now that you've not only seen my past winning ads, but I've also shown you how to create a bootylicious video using booties on TikTok, taking that and then turning it into an ad to drive traffic, we now need a place to drive traffic too. So what I want to do is share 3 specific landing pages and funnels that I have run that have generated me so much money. So again, you can just take it and copy it. So landing page number 1 is called our DSL funnel, which stands for Deck Sales Letter. Now, I've actually done so much testing behind this concept of putting a video compared to a deck, and without fail, people like decks more than they do videos. Now, the reason I think that's the case is because number 1, people know that all of these videos now are just really designed to try to sell you. Nobody wants to be sold to. And they also are like 7 to 10 minutes. Like, bro, I'm not going to sit there and watch your bullshit sales video for 10 minutes so you can give me nothing aside from tell me to book a call. Like, it's just not happening. And I know I'm not the only one. If you're watching this, you probably hate that shit too. So what I've noticed is if we can take the same content and put it inside of a deck sales letter instead, it gives people the ability to just blast right through it. So here is one that we're running for our software company. And you'll never see this on the software company. Like, it's really strange and bizarre, but it works, man. Like, it works. It simply brings us qualified appointments and it works. So call out, run ads to a call booking funnels right through these slides, see how to acquire customer from on that ad spend. Guaranteed you don't pay. We have a how does it work? How much does it cost? With an arrow to kind of tease people like, yo, all right, let's do this. Let's scroll. So they scroll, who this is for, using high level. If that's you, continue how it works. We walk them through how it works, all the stuff that you can get. Honestly, this is a great showcase of AdConk specifically. You know, you track and train AI for all of your clients too. Why it works, because it's recommended by Meta, because ad platforms can track offline. We bypass iOS 14. Good data equals good ad optimization because we're going to track, train AI, increase ad optimization. It was built by us, agency owners, for agency owners. We tried the other guys, one of them. We go ahead, we do our, side-by-side comparison. We compare how we're better, how much better we are, the pricing, how better it is. And again, if you don't shrink your CAC with 100%, we don't want your money. You want to get a demo trial, hit the button below. PS, we have a gift for you. Then when people hit this button, we push them to book a live demo, where we say book a live demo below. We have the arrows. And then we always like to have this on a booking page as bonus, get a free X. So we're giving high converting funnel packs for $0. We have our arrows where again, they can go ahead and they can schedule an appointment. And then after they schedule the appointment, we hit them with this page here where it says your live demo is not confirmed. PS swipe right to get your bonus gift. And then again, to confirm your slot, respond yes inside of your calendar. So we show them the calendar, how to respond yes. If this is not done, we will have to cancel your time slot due to spam and bots. Meeting agenda, we're going to go through the meeting agenda real quick. How to get your free gift. Again, open your calendar event and get it in there. We're really trying to push people to open that damn calendar event, because I know if they can open that calendar event, they have that in their calendar, and the chance of them showing up increases drastically because it's booked in the calendar. So that was landing page number 1. This is a second one where honestly, a lot more time and energy to make this pretty, a lot more time and energy to kind of explain some stuff. This is really better for honestly just like an explanation, like a basic kind of website / landing page where we drive people to an application. After they submit the application, you can book and schedule a call. I don't honestly recommend going all out and creating something like this, especially right at the gate. Like, it does not increase performance. It's really good if you want to use it as like a website / landing page. Like, cool, you're not just going to have your website be a very shitty, ugly, but for ads, like if you're running paid ads, this is honestly overkill. I do not recommend it at all. Instead, if I'm running ads, I'm going to choose this ugly, basic, like just looks so strange, but converts so well style of landing page. Where this one specifically, again, is an application funnel. We don't have a video, nothing at all. We just have warning. This program is for experienced blank chiropractors, right? Contractors, whatever. And what I've noticed is this creates this weird conflict inside of people where they're like, I'm experienced, and like leaving the page would also be an insult to themselves, because we're implying like it's only for experienced people. If they're going to leave the page, there's a little bit of nuance in the back of their head where it's like, well, I don't want to leave the page because I'm an experienced X. So that's what I've noticed. We've split tested that, and it did increase the overall throughput on the funnel, and that's why I think so. But then again, we're giving them the offer. It's very important, by the way. Offer congruency on a landing page compared to the ad needs to be bang on. Like, if you're saying one thing on the ad, you need to say the exact same thing on the landing page, because if not, you're going to have massive drop-off rates. So make sure your offer congruency is good. We're here walking through the offer, sell an extra blank, guaranteed or blank, check availability 10 seconds, show off your secrets. Don't need to add that in there. I like to have it in there on this one. And then again, limited availability, see if your area is taken. We then, I think we changed this template up. That should say 10 seconds. Get offer congruency. I think this is just a template that we added, and the template, whatever. Anyways, it should say 10 seconds. And one other key point to mention is make these questions or these forms one question at a time. If you have an application with like 15 questions, people are gonna be like, bro, WTF, I ain't doing that. Like, it's just not happening. So instead, you want to mask it. It's also a psychological principle called sunken costs, where people feel like they've sunk so much time and energy into it, but they're not going to bounce off because they've already sunk the cost and they've already put that much energy and effort. So if your application is a bit longer, make it one question at a time, again, to increase overall throughput. Now, once they actually complete it, if their application is approved and they don't get disqualified, then we send them here where, again, offer or risk reversal. Congrats, your area is available. Schedule your free strategy, bonus, get a free X, right? Like, you can see the similarity between our newer format and bonus, get a free X, compared to what we've done in the past. And then again, we put the calendar there. And then the same concept, we're switching over to a black screen. It's been booked. A member of our team will text you to confirm your session. If you don't answer, we'll have to cancel. So again, really depends on the market. Sometimes having a text where they have to respond to the text helps. And then on this one specifically, instead of doing a deck sales letter, we did a video. You could test video or deck. Both have worked on the thank you page because we've already booked the appointment, so we don't really care. But again, those are the 3 funnels that we have run and we have seen success with. What I would recommend is trying this one out the gate, as well as trying our DSL sales letter. Now, on the chance that you'd like some one-on-one help and actually have me and my team run these for you, you can check out the link in the description down below. Full transparency, very limited spots available. We simply cannot work with everyone. So if you already have a proven offer and you're looking to just scale it and take things to the moon, and you want a team to take that plate off your shoulders, help you strategize and come with the best practice, and really, again, just help you scale, make sure to fill out an application down below. So you've now learned absolutely everything up to the point where someone books an appointment, but in all honesty, Meta ads doesn't end there, because you need to have back-end systems to streamline the entire process. So if you want to make more money from your ads, increase lead to booking ratio, increase show-up rates, and ultimately automate as much of the back-end sales process as possible, I'm going to be sharing with you 3 key automations that I use to make me so much more money from our ads. It's ridiculous. Now, I can get pretty nerdy when it comes out to automations. It is something I love to do and use and talk about. So I'm going to try to keep it a bit more high level. If you want to actually copy this kind of stuff, feel free to pause it and take a peek at what we're doing, or feel free to DM me on Instagram if you do need a bit more help. But without further ado, here is automation number 1, which triggers every time we get a new lead. Now, we have some stuff that does not matter, although this one matters here. Wait 7 minutes. We're strategically waiting 7 minutes to give the lead the opportunity to go through the funnel and actually book an appointment. Because if they do book an appointment, it triggers the second automation, which I'll show next after automation number 1. I just want to tease. We remove them from workflow 1, again, so they further don't get all these automations and all these texts and all these notifications about booking the appointment, because they've already booked the appointment, so it would be silly to do that. So again, to recap, automation number 1 gets triggered every time we get a new lead. We give them 7 minutes to book an appointment. If they don't book an appointment, it continues. If they do book the appointment, then the next automation removes them from this workflow. Now here we're sending them an email. We're sending our team some Slack notifications. This is important. We are assigning an appointment setter via round robin, and then we are calling that setter live right away. Now, what's cool about Go High Level specifically is it will call the appointment setter. The appointment setter can answer the phone, and it'll say, you have a new lead named John. Press any key to connect. If he pushes the number on the number pad, it will then call John, and when John answers, it'll bridge the call live. So we're not even worried about speed to lead. If your appointment setters are on the ball and you have your team structure set up properly, speed to lead is always perfect. The only question becomes, is the lead going to answer? Which is why we then wait 1 minute to see if that call was answered. If that call was not answered, we will send them a text. We then wait 4 hours for the reply. If they did reply, we're going to call them right away, because obviously they're on their phone. So we have a very high chance of getting them on the phone with the appointment setting team. If they don't, however, respond to this text up here, we have some more follow-ups. And then again, we end up pushing them back here where the appointment setter is still going to call. We then wait 10 minutes to see if this call was answered. If the call was not answered, we'll then send them another text. We then wait to see if this text was responded. If they did not respond to this text, we'll follow up with them. We then wait 1 day. If they still haven't responded, then we're going to call the appointment setter again. We're going to wait to see if that call was picked up. If that call was not picked up, then we're going to send them one last Hail Mary text to try to further push this lead to an appointment. So that's automation number 1. Jumping into automation number 2, this triggers every single time we have someone book an appointment, where again, step number 1, we're removing them from the workflow. We're sending them an automated email, just confirming the date, the time, sending ourselves a notification in Slack. And then we add them to a nurture workflow where we're sending them video training and video series on our product or on our service or some testimonials, etc. We then wait 10 minutes where we send them an automated message saying your live demo has been scheduled for time zone as well. PS, if you need to reschedule, respond here, live agent will be ASAP. And then we drop our website too. We then wait 4 hours before the appointment where we send them basically a notification reminder. Your demo starts in 4 hours. We then wait 5 minutes before the appointment where we'll send them an email. The email says live, your demo has started. John, your demo has started. Here's a Zoom link. We give them a Zoom link. And then we also send them a text saying, John, Matei is in the Zoom room. Here's the meeting link. PS, just emailed you the link in case you need it as well. So again, that is workflow number 2. Its core concept is to drive people to show up to the call, as well as to put them inside of a nurture automation that makes people more excited about showing up to the call, which again increases show up rates. So its primary function here is really to increase show up rates. And then the last one that we have is a no-show. When someone no-shows our sales call or a demo call, we're going to drag that person into the pipeline stage called no-show, which triggers this automation. We then update the appointment status as no-show. We wait 5 minutes and then we send them this text. Now, the reason I want to share these texts specifically is because I have gone through so many variations of no-show text that I have found the key to getting people that no-showed back onto an appointment. So we take an approach like we are actually concerned for them, where we go, John, everything okay? Wait 30 seconds. You scheduled a meeting for 4 p.m. Did you need to reschedule? Hope everything's okay and looking forward to hearing back from you. This approach has had so many people be like, sorry, I forgot. I apologize. I was doing X. I apologize. Whatever the reason is, because we're challenging. It's like, hey, bro, is everything okay? Like, you scheduled a meeting for 4. Do you need to reschedule? Like, looking forward to hearing back from you. Hope it's all good. So when we take this approach, it's more sincere and it's not like, yo, you didn't show up to the call. I want to sell you something. Schedule here, bro. Let me sell you my shit, bro. Like, we're not doing that. We're taking it from a strategic angle where we're like, yo, is everything okay? Like, you scheduled the call for 4, I see you didn't show up. Did you need to reschedule something? Like, hope to hear back from you. Hope it's all good. Then if they don't reschedule, we'll send them some more emails over the next several days, again, just to further increase the overall appointment show-up rates. And that's it. Those are the 3 email automations. Again, number 1, lead follow-up, pushing as many leads as possible into an appointment. Number 2, automations after they book an appointment so we can further nurture the leads and increase show-up rates. And number 3, a very strategic no-show automation that takes a different angle than everyone else, is concerned about their well-being, and ask them if they wanted to reschedule or if they need to reschedule. All right, so we've literally gone through my entire strategy, everything in terms of meta ads, how to run winning campaigns, how to create the ad, how to automate the back-end process. Now, there is one last thing I want to share with you that's more back-end oriented, and that's how to make $25 to $60 per lead with email. Now, the concept is simple. You are going to be generating so many leads, and so many times I jump into an ad account and I work with people where they have literally hundreds and thousands of leads that they spent $50, $60, $40 to acquire, and they literally have millions of dollars both in sunken costs that they paid to acquire those leads, as well as opportunity costs. People that are still willing to purchase, they're just not doing jack shit with the leads properly. So what we have built is an email profit pipeline that follows up with all of these leads automated for you to help you further drive sales and increase your overall revenue. Now, I want to walk you through some numbers. On a very low end, you're going to have 1 out of 100 leads come back and give you money. This is a 1% conversion via email follow-up. And again, this is a low conversion rate. Now, let's say one of these clients for you in lifetime value equals 4 Genos, baby. We can then do the math. We can do $4,000 divided by 100, because that's how many leads it's going to take for you to capture a purchase, which equals $40. So even on the low end, this basically liquidates your ad costs, because you know for every 100 leads that comes into your back end, you will convert 1 person. And if 1 person equals $4,000, then every lead that you now have is worth roughly $40 a pop. So you can confidently and strategically run ads knowing you're okay to lose money on the front end, because on the back end, 6, 8, 12, 24 weeks from now, people are going to come back and purchase because you have a safety net called an email profit pipeline. So I'd like to walk you through this real quick, just so you guys can get an idea of how you can build this out. We have 3 separate emails: email campaign number 1, email campaign number 2, and email campaign number 3. And email campaign's number 1 primary objective is to push people to a call. So the way it works is we are going to get a new lead. They're going to enter email pipeline number 1, where we are going to send them to an email, and this email is designed to push them to a call. If they still don't schedule, then we send them another email where, again, we're telling them to schedule a call, because intent is very high. They just interacted with our brand. We push them to book a call. Maybe they didn't. So we're going to try again, book a call. And if they still don't after 3 emails, then we're going to send them 1 more email with a call to action of booking a call. Now, it's very important here that we have a filter that checks to see, did they open email number 1 or email number 2? If they did not open email number 2, we are not going to send them any more emails. And the reason that we do that is because it absolutely destroys your deliverability score. Meaning, if Google or all these platforms see like, hey, this guy's sending email after email after email and they're not reading it, they obviously can capture the data from multiple inboxes, and they're going to start to categorize me like, all right, this guy sucks. He's a spammer. We're not going to deliver his shit anymore. We're just going to put him into spam right away. So very important, make sure that we're tracking, did they open email number 1, number 2? If not, they do not get any more emails. However, if they did open it again, we're going to send them email number 3. We're going to wait to see if they scheduled the call. If they still have not scheduled a call, then we're going to push them inside of email campaign number 2, which is our video bootcamp series. Now, why we're doing a video series is simple. We just sent them all these emails where we're telling them stories about all these problems we fixed and showing them case studies. And hey, if you want to, you can schedule a call below. They didn't schedule. They don't care. They're not interested. So what we're going to strategically do is change up the format. Instead of sending them text, we're going to send them videos where in the email, it's like, hey, I just shot a training showing you how you can acquire clients for 21% less ad spend. Feel free to check it out here. We're not even talking about a call. I shot a training video. What we do is we send them to a landing page. And if you watched our other chapters, you know those landing pages are pixeled so we can further retarget and keep people in our ecosystem. But we'll send them to a landing page that has about a 7 to 10 minute training video where we're actually providing value and dropping sauce. We're not just sitting there talking out our ass for no apparent reason. We're actually giving them value. And then at the bottom of that video, there's a little button that says schedule a call. If they don't schedule a call there, then we send them to email number 2 with, again, the same thing. And if they still don't, we'll send them one more email where, again, we're saying, hey, I just shot this new training that shows you how to track your ad conversions, let's say. Here's how it works. Check out the link below. And then we send them to that video where we give them an in-depth tutorial on how to actually do it and how it all works. Now, if they still have not booked the call or taken the conversion that we want after email number 1 or after email number 2, we can safely say like, hey, they're not a buyer right now. Instead of ramming shit down their throat and forcing them to buy, like it's not gonna happen, okay? They're not there yet. So what do we do strategically? We're gonna send them to email campaign number 3, which is our long-term nurture. Now, our long-term nurture does not say, hey, buy our stuff, hey, buy our stuff, hey, buy our stuff. Instead, each email is designed similar to campaign number 2, where we say, hey, I just documented a brand new free resource that I would love to give to you if you need help with X. So maybe in our case, if we're running ad attribution software, it'd be like, hey, we just templated a brand new style of ad that allows you to create it in under 20 minutes and generates great cost per results. Here's how you can get it for free. They then click on it. We send them to a blog post where we give depth training. Obviously, YouTube is a great medium. I highly recommend, if you don't already, start a damn YouTube channel for your business, because not only can you do a blog, you can also do a YouTube video at the top. And we're going to be sending one of these about every 4 days. So again, it's just value, 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 and forever, once every 4 days, value, right? Training, lead magnet, template, new thing. Like, we're always just going to be giving them value and nurturing them because they're not ready to buy yet. Now, you're probably going to ask yourself like, hey, why would we continue to send this to them forever if they're not ready to buy? And the truth is, number 1, we're going to nurture them. Number 2, when they are ready to buy, they're going to remember us. And number 3, because we're pixeling all of these blog posts, every time they go on it, it's going to re-bring them into our ads ecosystem, where we will hit them up with a direct response offer to schedule a call so we can have the potential shot of acquiring them as a customer. What's also really good about this strategy is it allows you to rank for SEO. So if you run, let's say, an agency that targets home construction, and someone wants to go on Google and they're like, how to generate leads for contractors. If you have a shit ton of blog posts that talk about how to generate leads for contractors, and you're driving all these people to go and click on it, you're now organically going to start ranking that page on Google. So not only are you getting people to go consume your content, build trust, build authority, nurture them long-term, all that good stuff, we're also going to attract new leads through SEO. And you guessed it, once they hit on this page, it has a pixel. So now all these new people that are coming to see our blog and read how to generate more leads for home contractors, they're then going to see, guess what? Our Facebook ads. So this strategy, again, it ties into everything beautifully, because everything that we do within our company and for all of our clients is not a single narrow-minded approach. It's like, how can we do one thing here and do one thing here and do one thing here? And how do we channel all of this shit back into its core concept that allows us to follow people around, give them value, give them lead magnets, nurture them, build ourselves up with an authority, and ultimately generate more sales? So again, enough with my ramble. I'm going to kind of go back to this email campaign number 1, push to call. If they don't book a call, we push them to email campaign number 2. If they still don't book that call, then we're pushing them to our long-term email follow-up, which over time will allow us to make more money from our ads. All right, so you've stuck with me for a while now. I've literally walked you through everything I have known and I have done, and I've showed you everything in my strategy and my ads and my funnels and how to read data. We've gone through it all. So I wanted to wrap things up just by showing you how this all pieces together in a live case study where I'm going to walk you through some ads, show you the conversions, the results, and just basically how it all comes to fruition. So we're taking a peek here at 2 separate ads, 2001 and 2003, and we're going to start to look at the different results. As you see, they both generated very equal leads and appointments. We don't have an opt-in, so this is strictly appointments. All leads are appointments. So you see, we got 34 appointments from here and 29 appointments from here, $31 an appointment, $37 an appointment here. Now, most bro marketers would be like, bro, this is great. We're doing fantastic. Look, it's like the same shit. But what they're not going to do is track how many people canceled. What we're going to do is we're going to track that. We're going to be like, damn, almost half of our appointments canceled. What's going on here? Whereas this one, it was only about 25%. So that $31 and $37 per appointment just jumped up to $41 and $63. Which one is looking a bit better? Obviously this one now. Then we get into the show up rates, both of them honestly like neck and neck in show up rates. So it doesn't really change it too much. Again, 43 per showed, 67 per showed. But then we can jump into our qualified rate where it's like, yo, 100% of leads from this ad were qualified and only 87% of people here, which means we're now spending $43.26 per qualified appointment on this ad, whereas this ad is now bringing us $76.96 per qualified appointment, even though if we go back and we look at the cost per appointment, they were basically neck and neck, okay? What was once $6 difference is now a $33 difference. It's almost double the cost, which is why I recommend tracking your ads with AdKong, because it makes you so much more money. It trains AI. It allows you to get in depth to see what's actually happening inside of the ad account. Where are we spending our money? Where are we losing our money? Why does this ad, which books almost identical cost per appointment, end up having so much higher cost per qualified appointment on the back end? What can we duplicate on this ad next time so we can get more performance like this? And on top of that, we're training AI on all this conversion data, which is amazing. And then if we go and move forward into the cost to acquire a customer, you see absolute insanity. So 11 deals won, 7 here, cost to acquire a customer 98 compared to 153. And not only that, but these people from this ad actually spent more money compared to this ad, whereas this one had a 4.78x ROAS and this one only had a 2.77x ROAS. Again, still good KPIs, but I want to identify why something that on the front end looks to be identical at $31 and $37 on the back end is almost bringing us 2 times more money per dollar spent in ads. Why is that happening? I want to identify it and I want to duplicate these results over and over and over and over again. And as you see, the closing ratio is pretty much identical, 44 and 43 on all showed appointments, and then 44 unqualified here compared to 50 unqualified here. But also what's really cool about this platform is not only can you track that for paid ads, you can also set it up for organic. So if you run YouTube videos and you generate sales through YouTube, you can track all of the videos specifically and see which videos are actually driving the most sales. You can do the same thing for warm email. If you do cold calls, you can do that. If you do cold emails, you can track it. If you have an affiliate program, you can track that. If you run Instagram, like I said earlier in the past chapter, we're running videos and we're like, yo, bro, if you want my free lead magnet, comment the word down below and we'll send it to you. And then we send it to them so we can track conversions and how many people are buying from our Instagram posts. It's wild. So again, not only are you going to be able to track your paid ads, optimize your paid ads, you're also going to be able to train AI on all this conversion data. You'll also have the ability to track organic efforts and ultimately really understand what's making me the most amount of money in my business, both from a paid ads perspective, as well as from an organic perspective. What's our closing rate looks like? What's our show up rate look like? All these different variables that you want to track, and what you track, you can measure, and what you measure, you can improve. And ladies and gentlemen, that wraps up what I think is the best meta ads course online right now, because as you saw, no fluff, man. We went straight through it. Value per second was high. I showed you everything that we're doing right now for free. So first, if you're not subscribed yet, do me a favor, man. I've been recording for hours now. Go ahead and smash that subscribe button. It would mean the world to me, honestly. And on top of that, if you want to check out AdKong, there's a link down below in the description. Or if you'd like for us to come into your business and 100% run your entire paid ad strategy for you, or just have us come in and implement everything we know and teach it to you so you guys can take it over from there, there's another link down below. Again, it is application based. We physically cannot work with everyone that comes to us. So try to be as truthful and as honest as possible on that application. And if you're still not ready for any of that, that's all good, man. We're dropping tons of value. So if you're subscribed, great. Welcome to the team. Excited to be able to give you fiery content over and over and over again, which is why I recommend you check this video out right here.
I am inevitable. I gotta do it, man.